It's so difficult to walk through the landscape and not make it take away from its beauty. There's this moss on everything. Everything is alive. Even the rocks have been placed here through so much natural phenomena that you don't want to disturb the flow of time. You don't want to displace it. It just looks all perfect. It's crazy, all this life, it looks like suffering at the same time, you know. Everything is eating itself all the time. Everything is in this process of dying as much as it is of living. Yeah, I guess that's what you decide to focus on. I had an interesting question from someone recently. A friend of mine, a good friend, asked me to teach her how to meditate. I thought it was, I don't know, I thought it was funny that, because the way I experience meditation, it can't really be taught in a way because it's an individual thing. Everyone should meditate differently. Meditate in their own way and have that evolve as well with them. Of course, I'm not having the same kinds of meditations that I was having, you know, when I was a teenager or even a year ago. And sometimes I meditate multiple times a day. Other times I don't do it for months. Yet somehow I don't miss it. It's not like something that I just feel like, yeah, I just go with it, you know. If there's one thing that should not be difficult whatsoever, it's meditation. It should be the easiest thing to do. You don't have to sit down and cross your legs and listen to your own breathing or even follow your mantra. It's free. Right? I can show you nonetheless how I would approach teaching meditation as opposed to the way I was taught different techniques. See, initially, I was just curious about meditation, so I did it when I was a teenager. I'm 45 now. You know, I got into like hippie kind of culture and ideas. And so, yeah, I tried meditating. I ended up doing what worked best for me then was I would put on music and dance, or rather move very slowly so that I would feel, now obviously here I don't need to move to feel the air around me, but the idea was to try to be conscious of all of the molecules that are outside of me touching me. It's another way to be present, right? So I would move. It looked like Tai Chi, I think. I probably ended up doing some of the Tai Chi movements without even realizing it. And then a few years ago, I was going through a bit of a difficult time. I was trying to get a hold of myself, my emotions, and so I got into, what do they call it? La pleine conscience. It's full consciousness. Essentially, it's like focusing on your breath. But it seemed like, and then I even did apps, that would give me these 10-minute guided meditations. I think those are really cool. It's a way to do that. But it's short and it feels like homework. You're like, I gotta do it every day to feed the app, to justify my purchase. So then I got into TM, Transcendental Meditation. I think what got me into that is like all these successful people talking about it, like just the one person though is David Lynch. He wrote this book, Catching the Big Fish, that I got twice, 2 copies of on my 30th birthday. And it took me like 10 years to get around to learning TM. And that's following a mantra. And I just love that. I mean, this is like, for me, it's like a direct key to transcendence, to meditation, to finding a meditative state. I just sit down and repeat my mantra, which was given to me and which I don't repeat out loud. I just repeat it in my mind. So you're not supposed to utter it. And it's a technique. It's a technique which is good, because it's like you might do a sport, for example, but you need to be taught just basic techniques to do that sport well, otherwise you're just kind of sliding down a hill as opposed to skiing down a hill. So I've been doing TM for a few years. I don't know how many, 3 years maybe, something like that. I love it. But meditation is more simple than that. It's even more, once you have the technique, I find I can go there very easily. So we could do it together. This will be a good way to approach it. I could have stayed standing, but so one thing that you can fight against is this idea that you don't have to be thinking about anything, that meditation is like thinking about nothing. It's almost the opposite. Meditation is feeling everything. See, everything is always changing. It's in perpetual motion. And it's all live. It's all happening live. You are the eyes of God. You see? That is consciousness. That idea of being the eyes of God, the kind of witness of creation, it creates separation, doesn't it? Separation between yourself and existence, a kind of perspective, a detachment. And so you can notice your thoughts roaming about in your mind like waves coming to shore. In moments of transcendence, you forget you are here. You forget that you are. You become the dream. You're like a surfer onto consciousness, right above the water. Now the mantra, if you have one, the mantra is kind of like the way you paddle out to sea. Every time you repeat the mantra, it's like you're going out to catch that wave, getting closer to that wave. But once you're surfing, you transcend. You fall into this automatic flow of unity with the elements. And that is transcendence. You are completely present, yet you forget that you are.